Good evening. Thank you, Anurag. Good evening, friends. I'm an alcoholic. My name is Krishna. Entirely by grace of my higher power, the wonderful chain of sponsorship, all of you beautiful people in AA and my family. I did not drink today. Happy to be alive, sober, and amongst friends. The beautiful topic, one very close to my heart, step 12. Apart from the first step, this is one of the most misunderstood and unpracticed step of our program. I'm sorry what I'm saying may be controversial, but it is a fact. What I say is, like in the first step, this is also in two pieces, but actually it is in three pieces, three parts. Like most of us, we accept very readily our powerlessness over alcohol. But the problem lies when it comes to our unmanageability. At least I had a problem accepting my unmanageability because I was known as a very good manager. So I thought, I'm such a bloody hotshot manager. How can I be unmanageable? But when I really came into this thing, when my sponsor showed me how unmanageable I was, that's when I had to accept. Likewise, the step 12, as it says, I'm just going to report for your benefit. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, comma, we tried to carry this message to the alcoholic. Part 2. And the last 8 words of the program, which are really the essence of our program, to practice these principles in all our affairs. That is the crux of the program. That is practicing these principles in all our affairs. But most misunderstood is 12 step kar raha hu, 12 step kar raha hu, 12 step kar raha hu. 12 step kya kar rahe aap? I am doing 12 stepping is I am carrying the message. Excellent. What is the message I am carrying? That is what is more important. Like, for the rest of these things, steps, Big Book has devoted parts of a chapter. But whereas for step 2 and step 12, there is an entire chapter devoted to it. Working with others in the Big Book is actually the step 12. And Bill W. or his friends, the first 100, have left no ambiguity whatsoever about what we can and what we cannot do regarding the carrying of the message. But first thing what we have to understand is you don't have a message to carry if you have not practiced these principles. You don't have a message to carry unless you get the spiritual awakening. And how do you get the spiritual awakening? As a result of having worked these steps. So there is nothing called taking the first step, with the grace of the God, being away from alcohol one day at a time, as a God's grace, and then start doing step 12 because it is the easiest thing to do. No. But that is what, unfortunately, most of us end up doing. Even I was guilty of it initially, saying that I will do 12 steps. These are the two steppers, they are called in US. They're called as two steppers, that is 1 and 12. They do their first, they do their 12th, to hell with the rest of the 10 steps. But that is not the 12th step. Carrying the message of Alcoholics Anonymous to the other alcoholics, suffering alcoholics, is only 1/3 of the 12th step. The actual 12th step is practicing these principles in all your affairs. Are you doing it? Then how do you do it? Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, then what is it that we need to do to be able to do the 12th step? Do the rest of the 12. Each and every step is a consequential, sequential, and not at random. You cannot take step 1, then skip 4 and 5, go to step 7, and skip 8 and 9, then go to skip 10, and go for your what you call tapas or meditation and straight connection with God, and then start giving the message. No, it doesn't work that way. The program does not work either in isolation or as you please. No, the program is the same for all of us. That is why very clearly, the chapter on working with others says that you need to come down to how you go about going to the prospect, how you handle the prospect, how you handle the family, how you are going to sit with him, and do not pontificate, do not pose as if that you are the expert. Do not get the superior air or superior this thing of having recovered, and let him identify. And carry the book, let him see it. How many of us are really actually reading the chapter of working with others before going for a 12-step call? In fact, nowadays, unfortunately, many of us are not getting the opportunity to go for a 12-step call because by God's grace, we have enough meetings. Helplines are directing members to the meetings where he can get the story of the alcoholics. But still, the occasional 12-step call is there. Then the 12-stepping is you are living the program, becoming attractive for the alcoholic who is still suffering, making him want to have what you have, and making him willing to go to any length to get it. As how work says, if you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. But when will the alcoholic decide to take that suggestion? When what he says is attractive. And how can that be made attractive? Definitely not by putting on a lipstick or putting on a cologne. No. Our cologne, our lipstick, our makeup, everything is steps only. We'll have to put the spiritual makeup. And that spiritual makeup is possible only through working of the steps. Once we surrender, in front of God, then believing in it, starting faith in the program. You work with your sponsor and take it, and then you cannot keep it. You need to pass it on to be able to keep it. Then you pass on to your sponsor. Keep have what you have. That is when the program of Alcoholics Anonymous attracts the newcomer. And for that is what is the actual 12-stepping is all about. The 12-stepping silent, even without opening your mouth, 12-stepping is for you to practice the program. By practicing the program, by working the steps, you are getting the spiritual awakening. And having had a spiritual awakening, that is when you are trying to pass on the message. And because you are passing on the message, you have that much more need to practice these principles, these spiritual principles in all your affairs. Not just in the meeting rooms, not just in the classrooms. Are you practicing all your spiritual principles at home? Are you practicing all your principles, all your spiritual principles in office? Are you giving that unselfish love and affection to the members of your family who stood by you through thick and thin, who believed in you when you did not have a belief in yourself, who did not give up on you, who despite being blamed for your disease, still stuck with you? Are you extending the same courtesy back to them? Are you making up for the lost number of hours, lost affection? Are you taking it in your stride that are you taking it? Listen, they also are sick people because it's a family disease, and they deserve little sympathy and compassion. Are you aware of that? In at work, because the work has carried you, because the workers have carried you, because your colleagues have carried you, your superiors have carried you, are you giving it back? Are you making up for the lost man hours, lost concentration, unutilized or rather ungiven honesty? Are you making it up for them? Are you putting them above you? Are you trying to practice the traditions at workplace, at home? See, many of us, we are so loving to other members at the meetings. We'll say, पहले आप बैठिए, चलो यार ठीक है, अब पहले चाय आप ले लो, आप अच्छा कुर्सी ले लो. We are very readily we are sacrificing everything within the meeting rooms. We are epitome of courtesy. We are epitome of what you call humility. But just cut it across to our homes. We should this thing, throw one shoe at one place and the other shoe at the other place. Sit in the sofa. और पानी नहीं आया, क्यों भाई? कौन दे रहा पानी? अभी तक क्यों नहीं आया? ठीक है यार, समझ लिया. डाइनिंग टेबल पे थोड़ा तो खाना ठंडा हो गया, क्यों भाई? ठंडा खाने देने लगे क्या? क्यों गरम खाना नहीं देते? कौन बनाया इसने? ऐसा खाना गधे भी नहीं खाते, है या नहीं? Then we grind our teeth and grind our loved ones till the cows go home. Why? Why the same courtesy I am extending to some unknown face who is an alcoholic in the meeting room so much? Why don't my wife deserve the same kind of courtesy from me? Why wouldn't my mother deserve it? Why wouldn't my child deserve it? Think about it. Likewise, we want to be loved, we want to be cared for, we want to be taken care of. But are we prepared to extend the same courtesy back to them? Are we? Are we doing it? Think about it. No. But what we say is we will do the 12 stepping. 12 stepping किसको करेंगे भाई? What you don't have, can you really pass it on? Do you have recovery first? Or do you have the disease? If we don't have the recovery, and if we are having only the disease, then what are we passing it on? We are passing on the disease. We are not passing on the recovery. Because as long as we don't work the steps and recover, then we are still sick. We are still carrying the disease. We still have the infection. And we will pass on that only. That is for sure. So most of us, what we are doing is, keep coming back. 90 days, 90 meetings. But for the grace of God, halt program, stick to the winners. And then when the newcomer asks, what else should I do? How many of us are passing on the big book to the newcomer? अभी तो आया ना, चलो फुर्सत के करेंगे. क्यों? फुर्सत से पीने के लिए ठहरते? एक साल के बाद दूसरा पेग पिए थे क्या? Did we wait for taking a little more of the drink? No. Then how is it that then when it comes to recovery, then फुर्सत से कर लो? Why? Why is it that way? Why can't we say what the program has said? Why can't we say what the program has said and let them have the unadulterated, pure program? Why do you want to make it Krishnamurti's program or Anurag's program or Anup's program? क्यों? कौन सी खुशी में? Why should we do it? Why should we add, delete? Does the big book say about 90 days, 90 meetings? Does the book say that आराम से करो, 6 महीने के बाद करो? नहीं ना? फिर what is the program is all about? Unfortunately, the whole program stands on two pillars. One is fellowshipping and other is the actual program as enshrined in the 12 steps. The fellowshipping is our meetings, our meeting each other, this very meeting, our conventions, our anniversaries, the sponsoring, the sponsoring. This is all the fellowshipping. Fellowshipping gives relief. But the actual recovery is in the 12 steps. Then why are we hesitating in introducing the big book to the newcomer on the first day of his arrival? That is what is supposed to be done, right? Once introduction is over, why do we arrogate ourselves that we are capable of making somebody sober? Why are we forgetting that we could not become sober despite our best efforts? Why don't we make the message of Alcoholics Anonymous? Why can't we try to become the living examples, the living, walking examples of the recovery, not the disease? How many are striving towards it? How many of us are showing unconditional, unselfish love towards our fellow member? जो अपने को चाहते हैं, उनको चाहना कौन सी बड़ी बात है यार, सब लोग चाहते हैं. But are you extending the same courtesy to that faltering member of yours, that criticizing member of yours? जो member आपका बात नहीं सुनते हैं, he also deserves the same kind of love, isn't it? Then if we are qualifying our love, if we are qualifying our affection to each and every member differently, then something is wrong with our program, not theirs. Are we sticking to the preamble of Alcoholics Anonymous? First, we need to make the inventory of ourselves. Am I looking at all the members similarly? Am I making a distinction between high bottom drunks and low bottom drinks? Am I looking at a member as a member, or I am looking at a member who is coming in a Mercedes Benz, who is coming in a BMW, who is coming in a Bentley? ये difference बता रहा हूँ. जो पैदल आ रहा है वो member के साथ इतने ही time गुजार रहा हूँ जो upper end का member के साथ. जो अरमानी एंड गुची वेयरिंग मेंबर को जितना भाव दे रहा हूँ, उतने ही भाव मेरे को हवाई सिक्वल पेन के पैदल आने वाले मेंबर के ऊपर मैं स्पेंड कर रहा हूँ या नहीं? Am I absolutely blind to the material progress of the members? Am I looking at that spiritual condition or not? When the question of carrying the message also, I'm sure you would have, each and every one of you have examples of jumping to high bottom drunks and not bothering about the झोपड़पट्टी वाले lower and low bottom drunks के लिए वहां सर्विस के लिए आया बहुत बहुत कम आते हैं. Say that we'll have to go to वो एयर कंडीशनड ऑडिटोरियम में मैसेज देना है, वो ऑफिसर्स को मैसेज देना है, तो 10 लोग आ जाएंगे. अरे यार वो झोपड़पट्टियों में बेचारे जाके वो काम वालों को देना है, तो कोई आगे नहीं आएगा. क्लियर हो रहा है? Because inherently you are making a distinction that since I am from so and so strata of the society, I would rather stick myself to this. Sorry, boss, program doesn't work that way. Absolutely doesn't work that way. Program works on being, our preamble once again says that he is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, institution. Does not see any social or economic criteria. Then how is it we are putting our own criteria? Because we are not working the program properly. In fact, it is those unfortunates, those have-nots, who deserve more of your time. और एक बात याद रखो, are you giving it back as much as you got it back? Today, the life we are leading, at least in my case, it is not mine, it belongs to you. उसीलिए it is पुनर्जन्म बोल के क्यों बोलते हैं? Why it is born again? Why is it that we make birthdays, sober birthdays? Because that is when the alcoholic Krishnamurti died on that day, and the recovering Krishnamurti was born. So he is a mother. फिर माँ से गद्दारी कैसे यार? Are you giving back your time, your effort, your recovery, your experience, strength, hope, and last but not the least, your money? हर चीज के लिए अपने पास पैसे रहते हैं, एक देने के लिए पैसे नहीं है. You want to go buy 5,000 rupees worth of shoes, you won't even bat your eyelid. I'm not talking about even bigger amounts. 10,000 रुपए का ग्लासेस खरीदने के लिए, शेड्स खरीदने के लिए आपके पास पैसे रहते हैं. मल्टीप्लेक्स में पिक्चर देखते हुए 1,000 रुपए धन बोल के गंवा देते हैं. जब किटी बॉक्स जब आते हैं, आप 10 रुपए नहीं है तो बाजू से लेके चिल्लर लेके बहुत मुश्किल से 10 रुपए डालते. क्यों भाई? ह्यूमिलिटी कंट्रीब्यूशन में नहीं भाई, ह्यूमिलिटी देने के दिल में, विथ हम्बली यू गिव इट, नॉट दैट यू reduce the amount. No. gratitude and service, humility and gratitude mixed with service. Basically, Dr. Bob ने बोला है, when it is boils down, our entire program can be reduced to two words. One is service, the other is love. Humble love, grateful service. This is what is our entire program is. Are we doing it? Second thing is, when it is love, then how is it that we criticize each other? Basically, you can see anywhere in any fellowship, we are very readily, we criticize each other. The moment somebody turns his back, then I am prepared to do a very thorough, fearless moral inventory. Searching and fearless moral inventory of others is my specialty. I can एक feather निकाल के, जैसा मुर्गी का जो feathers निकालते हैं, ऐसा दूसरों का मैं inventory ऐसा निकाल सकता हूँ. But when it comes to Krishnamurti, I give him all the margins. बेचारा बंद करके है ना, यार उसको टाइम नहीं है ना, ऑफिस में ये है ना, इस बार बजट ज्यादा है ना, ऐसा है. फिर बाकी चीजों के लिए कैसे आ रहे भाई? How is it that it is happening that everything else has got a priority over here for me? Whereas AA has given me my life. Without AA, I would not be alive. Each and every one of us knows it. जब हमारा ऑक्सीजन के लिए जो चीज अपने को जिंदगी दी है, उसके जिसके सिवा अपन जिंदा ही नहीं रह सकते, उसके लिए वो पेड़ को पानी डालने के लिए झिझकना कैसे? How is it that I don't even care to water the tree from which fruits I am enjoying each and every day of my life and plan to do it for the rest of my life? कि थोड़ा पानी डालना मेरे पर फर्ज नहीं होता? अगर मेरे पहले वाले ऐसा सोचते तो मेरे को मिलती थी ये. Are we? I am responsible statement तो बोल रहे हैं. I am responsible when anyone anywhere reaches out to help. I want the hand of the AA to be always there, and for that I am responsible. Are you? Am I? कितने लोग जी रहे हैं? Then unity declaration. एक बार सोच लो. We owe it to keep our common welfare first, keep our fellowship united. For upon AA unity depend our lives and the lives of those to come. मेरे बच्चे, उसके बच्चे, उसके बच्चे, उनके लिए अपने को AA को united रखना पड़ता है. And any single talk of criticism behind the back of any single member is a move towards disunity, not unity. Then how is it that you are thinking that you are adding to unity? We can do it, I can't do it. अभी अपन बोलते हैं. But mostly what we forget is we talk the talk, but we never walk the talk. एक रूल लगा लेके अगर मैं नहीं कर रहा हूं तो ये नहीं बोलूंगा. That is the biggest beauty of the sponsorship chain. When you sit with your sponsee and tell him that ये करो आप, एक क्वेश्चन आप भी डाल लो, ये क्या मैं कर रहा हूं या करने के लिए कह रहा हूं? वो 10 साल पहले, 10 साल पहले एक कन्वेंशन में मुझे टॉपिक दिया गया स्पॉन्सरशिप का. मेरे साथ दूसरा कोई अच्छा मेंबर है, स्पीकर था. तो स्पॉन्सरशिप पे मेरे को जो जानकारी था, ज्यादा कुछ जानकारी था, कुछ एक साल कुछ मैं sober, I was there hardly about a year sober. So I spoke whatever I could. Then that gentleman spoke. And when he was speaking, he said he learned more from his sponsees than his sponsor. Naturally, as someone who is just a couple of years sober, I was flustered. साला sponsorship के बात करो बोले तो ये sponsor से ज्यादा sponsor से सीख रहा बोल रहा. How can sponsors teach more than the sponsor? ये क्या बात कर रहा है? चलो नीचे जाने के बाद इसको पकड़ेंगे, साले को खींचेंगे टांग. See, I was a brash fellow. You are still a brash fellow. Most of you know it. And I don't shy out from a confrontation or debate, whatever is the time of day or night. So I told, how is it that you learned more from this thing? So he smiled and asked, कितने साल सोबा? 2 साल सोबा. अच्छा, स्पॉन्सर है? हाँ है. स्पॉन्सी है? नहीं है. फिर तेरे को कैसे समझाएगा? स्पॉन्सी लो, स्पॉन्सर को जाके पूछो. So and so has said that I will understand when I get sponsors. तो when तेरे को जब sponsors मिलेंगे तब समझ में आएगा बेटा. सच्ची बोल रहा हूँ. आज वो इंसिडेंट हो गए 10 साल गुजर गए. दैट इम्पोर्ट ऑफ दैट स्टेटमेंट कितना पॉइगनेंट स्टेटमेंट था, आज मुझे समझ में आ रहा है. Today, because basically I can say that my sponsors are teaching me maybe what I am not prepared to learn from my sponsor. मेरा स्पॉन्सर्स उन लोग जो अच्छे करे उससे मेरे को ये बता रहे, बॉस तू भी इतना अच्छा नहीं कर पाता साला, तेरे से ज्यादा मेरे पास ह्यूमिलिटी ज्यादा है. आई हैव मोर विलिंगनेस देन यू हैव. I have more honesty than you. In each and every sphere, some sponsor or other is miles ahead of me. At the same time, the sponsors who do not listen to me, who do with the self-will, who burn their hands, their suffering again shows me how I was, how I resisted my recovery, how it would have happened, and I just accepted it and stuff. These are the things every day, the boons, the bliss of passing on the message is always with me. And passing on the message is not only to the suffering alcoholic. Any alcoholic who does not work the steps is still suffering alcoholic. That is why you have a responsibility to sponsor people and keep sponsoring. Are you passing on your knowledge, your experience of working the steps and reaching the happy joys and free sobriety? Fourth dimension of existence, that's what Bill called it. अगर आपने काम किया है and fourth dimension of existence पे आप आ गए हैं, जितने ज्यादा लोगों को वो बांटना है वो बांटना आपका कर्तव्य होता दोस्तों. It is your spiritual responsibility, absolutely spiritual responsibility to pass on this message to as many as possible. क्यों भाई, पेग कभी ज्यादा हो गया अपने को, 10 पेग के बाद भी एक मुफ्त का पेग मिलता तो मैं उठा लेता था. फिर ऐसे 10 स्पॉन्सी के बाद 11वां स्पॉन्सी के लिए झिझकता क्यों है? Does not mean that you come into competition with your own sponsors and grab everybody. No. But insofar as you can, you pass on to as many people as possible, but provided you have worked the steps yourself. That is the biggest message you can give. Because you don't know which of your sponsors is going to overtake you in spirituality. उनका inherent जो spirituality है, वो आपसे आगे कितने लेके जाएगी उन लोगों को, ये तो आपको पता नहीं है. So that is the reason why, see, about 7-8 years back, I was asked by my sponsor to read the chapter Working with Others before going on any 12 step. Any 12 step call अगर तुम्हारे को जाना, एक बार पढ़ लेके जाओ if you have the time. I'll tell you, not lot of opportunities, maybe about 50 or 60 opportunities. Okay, 50 or 60 opportunities. Okay, but today reading that chapter has made me a better AA, has made me practice the program a little better. If you don't think that my words do not have this thing, I urge all of you who are there, night एक बार पढ़ के तो देखो, पढ़ के एक इन्वेंटरी लो, उसमें से कितना अपन फॉलो कर रहे, कितना नहीं कर रहे. कितना फॉलो कर रहे हो बहुत अच्छा, सब फॉलो कर रहे हो बहुत बढ़िया. Please share it in the next day's meeting, what you did right and what you did not do right. That is not only going to light up your own 12 stepping, but it is going to light up quite a few members 12 stepping in your home groups, in your non-home groups, in your cities, in your areas. What I say is 12 step is essentially practicing these 11 principles, spiritual principles in all your affairs. That is first and foremost. Then passing it on not just to the newcomer, to the suffering alcoholics. Everybody is a suffering alcoholic unless they get the relief through the 12-step program. At least for those of us who believe that AA's 12-step program is our way out. And this is my experience. Maybe I'm leaving a little more for question and answers, I think. Thanks for letting me share.